निषिद्धैरप्येभिः लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिं नो नयनसुभगाम् अस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम्. Duryodhana and Ashwatthama are right now talking to each other. So Ashwatthama, the Duryodhana consoles Ashwatthama by saying that your grief is the same thing that I'm also going through. And we stopped with this 30th shloka. Tatas tava pranayavan sapitus sakhame shastre yatha tava guruhu satatha mamapi kintasya deha nidhane kathayami dukkam janihi tad gurushucha manasa tvameva. I am unable to convey my grief to you because what do I say? Kim tat kathayami? What do I tell you about tasya deha nidhane? About the time when he died, that is tasya deha nidhane ityukte dronasya deha nidhane. Because about Drona's death, what do I tell you? How do I convey my grief? Tvam janihi, tvameva manasa. Tad guru shucha manasa. Your mind, which is completely heavy with grief, you will understand it when you understand your own mind. So which means both of us are the same, because he was your father and at the same time he was my father's very dear friend. So it's the same. And Tavapi Guruhu, he was your guru and he was my guru as well in weaponry. So we both share the same grief. The Duryodhanasya Vakyam. We have to start from Kripas. Vatsa yathaha kurupatihi tathaiva etat. Our solra marida avadina. To console people, usually there are two more people around who will say, listen to what he says. There is some truth in what he says. So go by that. So Ashwatthama, Rajan, evam pakshapatini tvayi yuktameva shokabharam laghu kartum kintu evam pakshapatini tvayi pakshapatini shokam laghu kartum yuktam eva. So when you are so in my favor, when you work towards adadu eppadi en pakshathila nee vandu enakaga solradhunala, it is right that I reduced my grief. Laghu kartum uchitam eva. I should lessen that burden of my sorrow when you are pakshapata towards me. That is, you are favorable towards me. In other words, since you sympathize with me in this manner. Evam pakshapatini tvayi sati. When you are sympathizing with me in this manner, yuktameva shoka bharam laghu kartum. It is right on my part, or I should naturally lessen my grief. Laghu kartum. Atrapi chvi eva. Laghu kartum. Mayi jivati yattataha keshagraham avaptavan kathamanye karishyanti putrebhyaha putrinas praham. But the reality is something very different. When I am alive, mayi jivati sati. Tataha yat keshagraham avaptavan iti yad vartate. The fact that my father underwent a humiliation of being grasped on his hair, that is the seizure of hair, or his hair being pulled, was an indignity that my father suffered while I was living. Mayi jivati sati tataha keshagraha rupam apamanam avaptavan ityeva tatra tatparyam. So keshagraham avaptavan iti yat vartate tattu katham anye putrinaha putrebhyaha spriham karishyanti. This leads then how will others, how can other fathers who have sons have an putrinaha, those who have sons, anye, feel love towards their children. Putrebhyaha spriham katham karishyanti. Why would they even have an attachment towards their son when I, who am a son, when I am living, my father went through this humiliation. So others will also look at me as an example and feel, it is better not to have a child, or whether there is a child or not, it doesn't matter, because the child is not protecting the dignity of the father. So that will what be there in the minds of the people. Right? So katham uttama putra ichchaya loke katham syat iti. So katham karishyanti iti. So putrinaha anye putrinaha. or you can say putrinaha va anyeva, whether they have children or if they do not have children, aputrinaha va. They will not want to have a child. So you can actually interpret it in two ways. Anye putrinaha, those people who have children will not have a spriha towards their children, towards the child. They will not have an attachment towards that child. Spriheri ipsitaha ityartha atra chaturthi bhavati. So they will not show an affection towards the child. Or if you take it as anye putrinaha va athava anye. So those who do not have children will not even want to have a child. That is, they will not desire for a child also. Because I, who am a child, who have not been able to protect my father's dignity here.
So the word putrebhyaha, in your first interpretation, it seemed to be Panchami, but in your second, it was Chaturthi?
Not both are Chaturthi. So, putrebhyaha spriham katham karishyanti. How will they spriher ipsitasya chaturthi bhavati? Spriher ipsitaha iti, there is a sutram, right? So, putrebhyaha spriham. So, how would they have an attachment towards the child? Okay? Karnaha. द्रोणायने किमत्र क्रियते यदनेनैव सर्वपरिभव परित्राणहेतुना शस्त्रम् उत्सृजता तादृशीम् अवस्थाम् आत्मानीतः. Karna is being very practical. You can't blame. What can you do about it? Or what can anybody do at this point? Kim atra kriyate. What can be done at this point? Dronayane, son of Drona. Yad anenaiva dronenaiva. Sarva paribhava paritrana hetuna, one who has to sarva paribhava paritrana hetuna shastram utsrajata. He is the only source of protection for every kind of insult, because he is an archer and he was the senapati. He is the one who was leading the army also. So, sarva paribhava paritranasya hetuhu saha eva. So, he becomes the cause or the source for the protection from all kinds of insults. But he himself, what did he do? Shastram utsrajata. He left his weapon and atma tadrishim avastham nitaha tenaiva. So, he himself brought himself to this kind of an avastha, this kind of a state. So, saha tena atma nitaha dronenaiva atma nijaha deha. You can say his own body was taken to that state. Tannatane இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நிலைமைக்கு action போயிட்டாங்கிறது. Ashwathama Angaraja kimaha bhavan kimatra kriyate iti shruyatam yat kriyate. இதுதான் the most important shloka of Ashwathama's anger here. And anger, not veera. It is not an act or an expression of bravery, but it is more an expression of anger here, rage. So, Angaraja, kimaha bhavan, what did you say? Kimatra kriyate iti. What can be done? Shruyatam yat kriyate. I will tell you what can be done here. Yoya shastram bhibarti swa bhujaguru madaha pandavinam chamunam yoyaf panchala-gotre shishuradhikavaya garbhashayang gatova yoyastat karmasakshi charati mairane yaschayatsa pratipaha krodhandhaha tasya swayamapi jagatam antakasya antakoham. He goes to the extreme of saying, சொல்லும் பூண்டோட அழிக்கிறேன்போம். அதாவது ஈவன் புல்லு பூண்டு கூட வராதபடிக்கு, தட் இஸ் பீஜபூதம் யத் பவதி தத் சர்வம் அபி நாசம் குர்யாமிதி. ஸோ யோ யஹ சஸ்திரம் பிபர்த்தி ஸ்வபுஜ குரு மதஹ யஹ சஸ்திரம் பிபர்த்தி பாண்டவீனாம் சமூனாம் மத்தியே. Everything goes to the end here. Tasya iti. So yat padasya vipsa atratu, to say whoever, I don't care, whoever it is in the armies of the Pandavas. There are about so many akshauhinis, right? 7 akshauhinis or something. So Pandavinam chamunam madhye in the armies of Pandavas, Yo Swabhuja Guru Madaha Yaha Yaha Shastram Bibarti. Anybody who is holding a weapon and who has a great pride about the strength of his arms. So Swabhuja Guru Madaha. He has a great pride. Guru Madaha. Swabhuja. With respect to the strength of his arms, whoever it may be, and whoever is carrying a shastram, because of that arrogance that he has towards his arm strength. That is the first one. Next is Yoyaf Panchala Gotre, those who were born in the Gotram of Panchala, in the lineage of Panchala, in the family of Panchala, whoever exists in the family of Panchala, Shishuhu, whether it is a child, Adhikavayaha, or someone who is between 5 and 10, Garbhashayang Gatova, or someone who is in the Garbha, like Parikshit. So Ashwathama's Brahmastra went and tried to kill Parikshit also there. So Yo Yaha Panchala Gotre, anybody who exists in the family of Panchala Gotra, the lineage, Shishuhu, whether it is a child, or Adhikavayaha, someone who is of over that age, over the age of Shishu. Yeah. Adhikavayahangarthukku inge potrupar. Yuva Vriddhaha, he is taking it as everybody. So Balaka Apekshaya, Tayoho Adhika Vayastvat, Atra Taruna Vriddhayoho Grahanam. You can take anybody, whether it is a youth or old person, no matter what. Okay, so Adhikavayaha, Garbhashayyang Gatova, or anybody who is sleeping in the Garbha. Yoyastat Karma Sakshi, anybody who was a witness to that karma. Adha sonne, illaya? Papam nama Kritam Karitam Anumoditam. So Kritam is someone who has done that action with a weapon. Karitam, it could be someone from the Panchala Gotra who has also, made him do these things. Anumoditam is, what he did was right. See, it was like what Karna is saying right now. Who asked him to leave the weapon? He should have held on to his weapon and he should have fought at this point. Why did he drop his weapon? That is why he brought himself to this state. So this is something that is acknowledged by Karna, that what happened to Drona seems to be something that he asked for in Gramadri irukalla. So that becomes somebody who is anumodanam karoti. He accepts what is happening. So yoyas tat karma sakshi, whoever is a witness to that particular incident, Drona's humiliation. Mai rane charati sati yascha pratipaha. And as I am in the battlefield, when I move in this battlefield, Mayi Rane Charati Sati, whoever is standing against me, Pratipaha is turned against. So yascha Pratipaha, anybody who has turned against me, who stands against me, Krodhandaha Aham. So the Inge Krodhandaha Aham Tasya Swayamapi Jagatam Antakasya Swayamapi Antakaha Bhavami Asmi. So I, blinded by that anger that I have, because my father was put to, my father was humiliated and he was put to death like this. So I, who am blinded by that fury, rage, I will be the Antakaha, I'll be the killer of all of those people, Tasya, of every one of those person. In fact, I will be the destroyer, Antakaha, of even Jagatam Antakasya api Antakaha aham. I would even be the very destroyer of the destroyer of the three worlds, which is death, right? So, Jagatam Antakasya api ahameva Antakaha bhavami. Even if it is Yama who stands in my way, I will destroy him. Yoyesh Shastram. This is an example of where the words bring out the rasa, or the artha brings out the rasa more than the samasta padam or brihat samasa. Even without brihat samasta padam, you have that rasam coming out.
Here Panchala Gotra It doesn't refer to Parikshit, right?
So a descendant of Panchala, not exactly the Gotram, but any descendant. So which means
Subhad.
yeah, Subhadra, but still it did go, no? But he's a Pandava's Pandavinam Chamunam, whoever is there in that Pandava army. So he wanted to destroy the entire lineage of Pandavas also. That is where Parikshit comes in, not Panchala Gotram.
And then does Gotra go for mother's side also? That's what I was confused. No, right? Only for father's side, right?
Usually, no.
Okay, if it is Draupadi's son,
Unless,
it is Kuru Vamsha,
unless,
right? Not in Panchala, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. But unless, it is. See, that is where he is also blinded by that rage. He is not looking at. He need not even make such a statement that even I will kill even an unborn child here. See, that is not a mark of a Veera. It is a mark of a person in uncontrollable rage right now.
Okay.
So no logic will work here. Your questions actually answer that. That he has no logic in his mind. If he was a Veera, his thing would be only with the Drishtadyumna, nobody else.
Drishtadyumna. Yeah, correct. Okay.
Yeah. Just as how for Arjuna it was only Jayadratha. Yeah?
Okay.
Bhima.
What he is trying to describe actually that how he said, I am angry, I'm so angry. So I am blinded by anger. He admits that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you hear me, Mohdi? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Actually, Yudhishthira and Bhima are the main objects of his anger, right? And by association, all the Pandavas, right?
Yes, that is also right.
Panchalas are the sons of Draupadi, who are sons of Pandavas as well. So those Panchalas are also included in his anger.
The word Gotra throws us off. That is why. See, Adinala. But you can also have women as the Gotra, this thing, they are in the Jabali, Satyakama Jabali. Exceptions. But those are all exceptions. In general, it's a very, it's okay.
The word Jagatam Antakasya Antakoham, and I think towards the end of the Mahabharata, Krishna says that Ashwatthama is an Amsha of Shiva, or that in the lore it comes that he's Amsha of Shiva. And in the Shiva Tatra Stotra, we get Antakantakam Bhaje. Antakantakam Shiva.
Rudra is the one who destroys even Yama at the end, Mahakalpe. So, that's true. But Drishtadyumna is definitely Panchala Gotra. That is of no dispute here. But the rage of Ashwatthama extended to the Pandavas also and their descendants also. As he says, both Yudhishthira and Bhima were responsible for coming up with this lie of Ashwatthama being dead. So they were also targets for Ashwatthama. Yoyash Shastram Bibharti Swabhuja Guru Madaha Pandavinam Chamunam Yoyaf Panchala Gotre Shishuradhika Vaya Garbhashayyangatova Yoyas Tat Karma Sakshi Charati Mairane Yaschayascha Pratipaha Krodham Dastasya Tasya Swayamapi Jagatam Antakasya Antakoham Apicha.
When we say the words Bhuja Guru Madaha, is that because the word Guru is there because the one who is prideful on the Gurutvam or the strength of his arms? Is that what word Guru there?
You can take it as both. Guruhu cha madaha cha Guru madaha. A great pride with regards to the bhujam. Adudam better. Ama. Yeah. Apicha bho Jamadagnya Shishya Karna. So Jamadagni's Parashurama's Shishya, he is addressing Karna because Karna is the one who said what to do. He was the one who brought his end towards himself, right? So, Desha Soyam Arati Shonita Jalaihi Yasmin Hradaf Puritaha Kshatra Deva Tatha Vidhaha Paribhavaha Tatasya Keshagraha तान्येव आहित शस्त्र घस्मर गुरूणि अस्त्राणि भास्वन्ति मे यद् रामेण कृतं तदेव कुरुते द्रोणात्मजः क्रोधनः. So यत् रामेण कृतं, यत् परशुरामेण कृतं तदेव क्रोधनः द्रोणात्मजः कुरुते. Whatever was done by Parashurama, the same thing is going to be done now by the son of Drona. His anger by the angry son of Drona. So Krodhanaha Dronatmajaha, Dronasya Atmajaha, Tadeva Kurute. He is going to do the same action that was performed by Yat Ramena Kritam, Yat Parashuramena Kritam. Just as how Parashurama destroyed the families of Kshatriyas, in the same way I am also going to destroy the Kshatriyas, because I have the same kind of weapons. Being the coming from the Shishya Parampara, I have the same weapons in me too, he says. So, Deshaha, Saha Ayam Deshaha. Ayam Deshaha, he is talking about Kurukshetra right now. Okay? Amara Arati, Arati Shonita Jalaihi Yasmin Hradaha Puritaha Saha Ayam Deshaha. This Desham that we are talking about, this is the very country wherein, or this is the very place wherein the pools of Hradaha Puritaha, pools were filled with the blood of the enemies. Arati Shonita Jalaihi. The waters for these pools were all blood from the enemies. So Kurukshetram, the original name for Kurukshetra in Treta Yugam, or the cusp of Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, was called Samantaka Panchakam. So 5 pools were filled with blood by Parashurama. So pool na inge lakes nu eduthukano, Hradaha. So Samantaka Panchakam. Samanta Panchakam nama tatra there were 5 lakes which were created by Parashurama and filled with the blood of the enemies, Kshatriyas, and this happened during the at the transition time of Treta Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. Similarly, from the transition period to the transition period from Dwapara Yugam to Kali Yugam is when this Mahabharata Yuddham also happened. Right, which created a massive destruction in a similar manner. So he says, he points out and says, we are in the same country wherein there were lakes which were filled with the water of the enemy's blood, and Kshatra Deva, from the same Kshatriya family, Tatha Vidaha Paribhavaha Tatasya Keshagraha Kshatra Deva Asit. So it was only from this sort of an insult, that is the Keshagraha, seizing of my father's hair, also came from someone who belongs to Kshatriya. Kshatriya nama Kshatriyanam kulam. Kshatriyanam kule yaha jataha tenaiva tatasya paribhavopi kritaha iti. Atraiva deshe tesham kshatriyanam api shonitaihi eva hradaha puritaha asan. Okay? 2 things. Now I can do the same thing because I have the same weapon, he says. Tanyeva, Tani eva, Ahita Shastra Ghasmara Guruni Astrani Me Bhaswanti. The same shining Bhaswanti, the same Astrani, the same weapons are also shining in me. Those weapons which are Guruni, which are extremely great, and Ghasmara nama have the capability of killing. Hantum Sheelam Masya iti Ghasmara, or something like that is there. So Ghasmara, Ahita, Shastra, Ahita are present. Mai api the Shastram வந்து கையில எடுத்துட்டு இருக்காருன்னா, எடுத்துக்கப்பட்ட ஆஹிதம்னா பிராப்தம்னு எடுத்துக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா யுக்தம். Let me just check 1 minute. ஆஹித சத்ரோஹோ ஆயுதஸ்ய ஸ்ரேஷ்டானி பக்ஷகானி அஸ்திராணி தானியவ. ரொம்ப கரெக்டா போகுது. அஹிதவா? ஓகே, சாரி, ஆஹித இல்லை, நான் தான் தப்பா பார்த்துட்டேன். You can split it as ahita shastra ghasmara guruni astrani. In a ahita becomes a kta pratyayanta. Then why, how would I fit that in a, I was a little confused here. So ahita shastra, those weapons which are not beneficial and at the same time it can kill the enemies, and it is very guruni, it's a great shastram. These shastras are now in the form of an astra in me, they are shining. So they are shining as divine weapons in me too, the same weapons. So yad ramena kritam tadeva krodhanaha dronatmajaha adya kurute, he will definitely do the same kind of action like Parashurama. Deshaha soyam arati shonita jalaihi yasmin hratav puritaha kshatradeva tathavidaha paribhavaha tatasya keshagraha. Take it as different sentences. 1, 2 and then 3. Tanyeva ahita shastra ghasmara guruni astrani bhasvanti me. Yad ramena kritam tadeva kurute dronatmajaha krodhanaha. So atra dvitiya charane upama. What is the upama here? No. Shonita jalam. Shonitam eva jalam or shonitam jalam eva. Arati shonita liye. Shonitam eva jalam. That is rupakam here. It cannot be upama. Tritiya chaturtha charanayoho तच्छस्त्र तत्कर्मणोः असंभवात् तत्तुल्ययोः आक्षेपेण निदर्शनाद्वयम् अलङ्कारः. Okay. तान्येव शस्त्राणि मयि भास्वन्ति. The same shastras are with me. You cannot have, so as Ashwatthama, it is impossible for Ashwatthama to have the same kind of weapons with him, and he does not have that. It is only Parashurama who has an axe, and with that axe he killed everybody. He also had a bow and arrow, fine, but that bow and arrow still exists with Parashurama, he being a Chiranjeevi, all that, fine. So the same weapon cannot be with Ashwatthama. So asambhavat tulyayoho asambhavat vastunoho tatra akshepaha bhavati. So there is a reference to something which is not possible, but you are saying it is the same astra that is present here. So then it is nidarshana alankara. Asambhavat vastu sambandha. Paatolya. ரெண்டாவதுலயும் மூணாவதுலயும் சரி, நாலாவதுலயும் அதேதான். யத் ராமேண கிருதம் ததேவ அத்ர क्रोधनः द्रोणात्मजः अपि कुरुते इति चेत् तत्रापि असम्भवत् वस्तु सम्बन्धः एव. Whatever Parashurama did by, going around and killing all of the families, he is not going to do like that personally also, and he is not going to do such a mass destruction of killing all of the Kshatriyas right now. His pratigna is also to kill even Garbhashayangataha. That was not the case with Parashurama. If that was the case, then there would be no Kshatriyas during Dwapara Yugam or during Mahabharata Yuddham. Duryodhanaha. Acharya Putra tasya tathavidhasya ananyasadharanasya te veerabhavasya kim anyat sadrisham. Tathavidhasya tasya te veerabhavasya. What else would be consistent with that kind of a veera? You kim anyat sadrisham. What else can be equal to you te veerabhavasya, for your veerabhavam, for your bravery, which is ananyasadharana, which is not easy to find in other people, and which is of such a great caliber. So the only comparison can be to that of Parashurama. Kripa. Now Kripa finds the opportunity to the bit podradengravya. Ada. Rajan, so mahan khalu dronaputrena vodhum madhyavasitaha samara bharaha tad ahamevam manye bhavata kritaparikaraha ayam uchchettum lokatrayam api samartha. Uchchettum markapura, uchchattum irkadu. Doesn't say here. Lokatrayam api samucchettum. Okay, yes. Samucchettum. Okay, I am uchchettum lokatrayam api samartha. So tada aham evam manye. Modalirnduru. Rajan, Sumahan khalu Dronaputrena vodhum adyavasitaha samarabharaha. So Dronaputra Ashwatthama has decided to adyavasitaha. He has taken it up in his mind to bear the weight of this samara, of this war. Samara bharaha vodhum adyavasitaha. He has taken up this in his hand. Sumahan kalu samara bharaha. It is a great weight upon his shoulders, and it is very heavy indeed, the responsibility of the war, that Dronaputraha, the son of Drona, wishes to adyavasitaha garche, he has decided to take it upon himself, undertaken. So I think tadevam aham manye, I think in that bhavata kritaparikaraha ayam, having been given that responsibility by you. கிருத்த பரிகரஹாங்கிறச்சு நீ அவனுக்கு பட்டம் கட்டி அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். அந்த சேனாபதி, having given the responsibility of that சேனாபதி to him, லோகத்ரயமபி அயம் உச்சேத்தும் சமர்த்தஹா. He is capable of destroying all three worlds, I think. Kim punar Yudhishthira balam. So what to say of the army that belongs to Yudhishthira? Ataha abhishicyatam sainapatye. So let him be coronated right now, and let him formally be appointed as the commander, senapati. Duryodhanaha sushtu yujyamanam abhihitam yushmabhihi kintu prak pratipannaha ayam arthaha angarajasya. So what you say is correct, but I have already promised this to Angaraja, to Karna. Sushtu sushtu abhihitam yushmabhihi. Sushtu yujyamanam cha yat tat abhihitam yushmabhihi. What you have said is correct, sushtu, and yujyamanam, it is also a proper thing that you have said, abhihitam. Kintu prak pratipannaha angarajasya prak pratipannaha ayam arthaha. Ayam arthaha, this matter has been pratipannaha, it has been promised, pratignyataha, purvam prak, for Angaraja, for Karna. So I have told Karna already that he can be the senapati. Kripa says, Rajan, asadrisha paribhava shoka sagare nimajjantam yenam Angarajasya arthe naiva upekshitum yuktam. Asyapi tadeva arikulam anushasaniyam. Arikulam anushasaniyam. Ataha kimasya pida na bhavishyati. Asadrisha paribhava shoka sagare nimajjantam enam ashwathamanam. Ashwathama, who is right now immersed completely in this ocean of grief that is been caused by a paribhava, by an insult, that is asadrisha, that is unparalleled. So there can be no other, nobody else has suffered such a great humiliation, and because of which nobody else is in this kind of a grief right now as is Ashwathama. So nimajjantam enam upekshitum naiva yuktam. It is not proper on your part to ignore Ashwathama, who is suffering because of that humiliation and grief. For the sake of Angaraja, for the sake of Karna. You should not ignore Ashwathama. Asyapi tadeva arikulam anushasaniyam. He also has to destroy Anushasanam nama atra destruction. He also has to kill the same enemies. It's not as if Karna has a different set of enemies to attack and Ashwathama has a different set of enemies to focus on. Both have the same thing as a goal. That is, they both, Ashwathama and Karna, have the Pandavas and Drishtadyumna as their target. They are not fighting on different sides of the war here right now. So, Tadeva Arikulam, the same family of enemies, Anushasaniyam has to be destroyed by Ashwathama also. Asyapi. Ataha kimasya pida na bhavishyati. So, kim asya pida na bhavishyati? The intonation appadi irukkanum. Kimasya pida na bhavishyati ngarcha அந்த இடத்துல என்ன ஆயிடும்னா, what will not be his, அப்படி இல்லை, இவனுக்கு என்ன வலிக்காதா என்ன நீ இந்த மாதிரி பண்ண என்ன அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். கிம் அஸ்ய பீடா ந பவிஷ்யதி. கிம் will it not cause grief for him? Will it not torture him if you make Karna, or if you ignore Ashwathama at this stage for the sake of Karna? Yeah. Ashwathama, Rajan, Kim adyapi yukta yukta vicharanaya. Are you still analyzing what is right and what is not right? Don't worry. He pratignyam karoti. Eshaha. Prayatna paribodhita stutibhir adya sheshe nisham. Akeshamam apandavam bhuvanamadya nissomakam. Iyam parisamapyate ranakatha adya doshyalinam. Apaitu nripakananati guruhu adya bharaha bhuvaha. இதுவா பிருத்வி இல்ல ஹரிணி விருத்தம் பிருத்வி அந்த ஐ திங்க் இட் இஸ் லைக் த காதம்பினி காபி காதம்பினி அந்த ரசகங்காதரஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லோகான்னு நினைக்கிறேன் பிரயத்ன பரிபோதிதः ஸ்துதிபிஹி அத்ய நிஷாம் சேஷே சேஷே இஸ் த verb here not remainder சேஷே சேதே शेराते शेरते तत्र शेषे इति मध्यम एकवचनं मध्यमपुरुषे एकवचनं so you will sleep tonight nisham sheshe entire night kaladhvanoh atyanta samyoge dvitiya so nisham sheshe for the entire night you will sleep well today adya and stutibihi during morning you would be woken up paribodhitaha with a great effort by stotras. So the Stuti Pataka will have to make a great effort to wake you up because until now you would not have slept well. And today I will ensure that you have a very good sleep such that it will be very difficult for those Stuti Patakas to wake you up in the morning. So prayatna paribodhitaha tvam stutibihi adya nisham sheshe. You will sleep really well. Yataha because adya bhuvanam Akeshavam, Apandavam, Nissomakam Bhavishyati. So this world today will become such that there will be no Krishna, no Pandavas, nor will there be someone from the Somaka Kulam. Somaka Mahabharata. இது யாரோட இதுன்னு தெரியல எனக்கு. Okay. Vanaparvala irukku. Drupada's ancestor. That's why he says Somaka. Okay. So Somaka is an ancestor of Drupada. Panchala lineage. So Nissomakam, Akeshavam, Apandavam, Nissomakam, Adya Bhuvanam Bhavishyati. So this world will be without the Pandavas or Nissomaka, without the Somakas, that is the Panchalas, and it will also be without Krishna, who is the catalyst for this war. Iyam parisamapyate, or Krishna is the one who gave the idea of saying Ashwatthama hataha also. So iyam doshalinam ranakatha adya parisamapyate. Doshalinam ranakatha adya parisamapyate. The story of the talk of war, doshalinam, of people who have powerful arms, that the talk of war will be ended by me. Doshalinam ranakatha adyam ranakatha maya parisamapyate. I will stop this story or this talk of war about Ranakatha, talk of war which will go on and on and on. Instead of that, I will stop everything, I will kill everybody and stop this talk. Apaitu nripakanana ati guruhu bhuvaha bharaha. So there is this earth is weighing down under the weight of the forest of kings which have to be removed. So I will remove them. Apaitu. Let them be removed. Let that bharam be removed. Let the weight of this earth be removed. This weight which is ati guruhu, which is extremely heavy on account of the forest, the kings who are like a forest. So it seems to weigh down the earth, and Krishna has come here and he is staging this Mahabharata war to remove bhuvaha bharam only. So he says adya bhuvaha bharaha, which is as heavy because of the forest of kings, let it be removed. Apaitu. Prayatna paribodhitaha stutibiradya nisham sheshesh nisham akeshavam apandavam bhuvanamadya nissomakam iyam parisamapyate ranakathadya doshalinam apaitu nripakananati gururadya bharo bhuvaha. Karna Vihasya. Now starts the fight between Karna and Ashwathama. Vaktum sukaramidam dushkaramadhyavasitam bahavaha kaurava bale asya karmanaha shaktaha. It's very easy for you to say this. Vaktum sukaramidam. It's easy for you to say. Adhyavasitum dushkaram. It is difficult to carry out the what you say. Kaurava bale, there are many in this Kaurava army who are able to achieve this. And the idea is also that there are so many people who can do what you are saying. That doesn't mean that you are the fit person to be appointed as the Senapati. So Adhanala he is trying to say that there are many people like you also. Kaurava bale asya karmanaha shaktaha. There are people who are capable of doing the same action. Ashwathama Angaraja evamidam bahavaha kaurava bale atra shaktaha kintu dukkha upahataha shokavega vashat bravimi na punar virajana adhikshepena. He wants to convince somehow. So Ashwathama also says, see, yes, I accept that evamidam. It is true that bahavaha kaurava bale atra shaktaha. It is true that there are many people in the army of Kauravas to do this action. Kintu, but dukkha upahataha. Dukkha upahataha, one who has been hit by grief. Shokavega vashat bravimi. I am saying because of the grief that being under that grief, and not because of a desire to offend other veeras. Veerajana adhikshepena na punaha bravimi. I am not talking to criticize other veera. See, when Ashwathama says that, apaitu nripakananam, you can sleep because you can give me the responsibility of killing and closing down the war today itself. So the Mahabharata war would be over on the 11th day right now, or the 13th day, something like that, it will be over right now. Don't worry about it, But then Karna says, don't talk as if you are the only person who is capable of doing it. There are many people in this army of Kauravas to achieve the same thing. That's not what it is. Then Ashwathama says, I am not talking to insult or criticize other brave men in this Kaurava army. All I am saying is, dukkha upahataha. I am undergoing grief, and hence, shoka avega vashat bravimi. I am talking because I am suffering, I am under the control, vasha. I am under the pangs of grief, afflicted by grief. Karna, mudha. Now he is insulting. Karna is insulting him. Mudha dukkhitasya ashrupataha. Kupitasya cha ayudhadvitiyasya sangrama avataranam uchitam. Na evam vida pralapaha. Ingeda Karna crosses that line. Whether Mahabharata has the same thing or not is a different question. But this is how Venisamharam, Bhattanarayana wants to portray that scene between Karna and Ashwathama. So, whether this is fitting with the Karna's character or not, or what, that is a completely different discussion. That will be a thesis discussion of how Venisamharam deviates from Mahabharata, how the character delineation deviates from the delineation of character in Mahabharata, etc., etc. This is how Bhattanarayana has visualized Karna. So, dukkhitasya ashrupata, otherwise he would not be considered as dushta chatushtayam. So, he is trying to bring out his character at different places, wicked character in different places. Dukkhitasya, if you are suffering, if you are upset, போய் பேசாத அழங்கிறான். இங்கே என்ன சண்டை போட்டு இருக்க, நீ இங்கே என்ன புலம்பின்னு இருக்கங்கிறான். நீ மாட்டுக்கு அழுதுக்கோ. அஸ்ருபாதா குபிதஸ்ய ஆயுதத்விதீயஸ்ய சங்கிராம அவதரணம் உச்சிதம். It is proper for a person who is angry, குபிதஸ்ய ஏவ ஆயுதத்விதீயஸ்ய, who is also carrying his weapon, who has only his weapon as his possessing his weapon as his companion. Ayudhadvitiyasya kasyachana kupitasya purushasya eva sangrama avataranam uchitam. Getting into battle is correct only for a person who is carrying a weapon. Not tears are for the person who is dukkitasya, who is upset. So, na evam vidaf pralapaha. இந்த மாதிரி புலம்பிட்டு இருக்காதன்னு. You should not be என்ன சொல்றது புலம்பறதுக்கு அதான் wailing. ஆமா அதை விட ஆமா ranting. You should not be venting out like this at this point. Ashwathama sakrodham. Now he also gets very angry being triggered by Karna. Arere Radha garbha bhara bhuta Suta pasada. So one who is a bharam for Radha, Radheyaha Karnaha khalu. So tasya matuhu nama Radha. So Radhayaha garbhasya bharabhuta. You are just bharam, you are a burden to the womb of Radha. Suta apasada, one who is a wicked charioteer, the son of a charioteer. Mamapi nama ashwathamnaha dukkitasya ashrubihi pratikriyam upadishasi na shastrena. எனக்கு போய் நீ சொல்றியா அப்படிங்கிறான். மமாபி நாம அஸ்வத்தாம்னஹா துக்கிதஸ்ய, even to Ashwathama you are advising a pratikriya upadishasi. So you are advising a pratikriya, remedy, lana, a revengeful action in the form of tears for a person who is dukkhita, is upset, and not with weapons. So mamapi nama ashwathamnaha dukhitasya ashrubihi pratikriya upadishasi natu shastrena. You seem to be advising me to shed tears and not use weapons. Pashya nirvirya gurushapa bhashita vashat. 35 we will take up next class. Chariya.